Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to I think this is episode 4 of our Philadelphia Flyers franchise mode. We're here at the start of February. Haven't played a game in February yet, and we are still not looking great. Seventh in the division, only looking to get worse. In the last episode, we started the season. We did not do very well, obviously. We're 2 games below NHL 500, but still. And we started looking at some trades, some players to offload, that being um, Tony DeAngelo, Andreas Athanasiou, and Cam Atkinson. I've pre-scouted some trades already. I think we're going to just go through to the trade deadline and see what happens. So I think we're just going to get started simulating. Um, while Tony DeAngelo is having a great year, he has 99 offensive awareness, 96 passing. His shot is great. He's got 48 points in 51 games. He does want 9.3 million for 6 more years, which I just don't think makes sense for our team to commit that kind of money to. Um, so that being said, let's just get started. I'm hoping still to not really do great. I think this team still needs to kind of be in the depths for a little bit. Um, yeah, and we don't have that guy that's really stepping up. Person probably most is Samuel Ursan, who is posting a better save percentage than Carter Hart. But yeah, still waiting for kind of we don't have that like here yet, and sometimes it takes drafting that medium elite to really get that guy. So yeah, I'm not too worried about not doing so well so far. Um, Guys, I'm looking at. I want to make realistic trades, teams that need it. Obviously with Tony DeAngelo, I was looking at teams that aren't scoring very well, and hoping to get like get that team going with a guy like Tony DeAngelo. So we're here at the trade deadline. Real quick, I will show you what I'm looking at. The first trade I'm looking at making is offloading one Cam Atkinson. He's got 2 years left on his deal. We can retain it, so I think it's a little under 3, which is a good deal in my opinion. And it's really because of right here. This forward core looks really good, and that a third line I think of Bertuzzi, Lowry, and Atkinson would just look great. They've got guys here like Christian Vesalainen who you could argue could make the step up, but right now they got Mason Appleton there, and he's not doing great. And they've committed. I mean, Bertuzzi's doing better than he did last year, but they've committed some money to Bertuzzi, 6.65 for the next 3 years. So they're going to want to get him going. Hopefully, Lowry can kind of act as their playmaker and set the two of them up. I looked at giving them D'Angelo as well. The defensive core is admittedly not great, but when you look at it, they got Morrissey, who's putting up some points. They got Pionk, who's an offensive defenseman. Sandberg is a two-way guy. Schmidt's a two-way guy. They got Brendan Dillon, who's a two-way or a defensive, and I think DeMello is a defensive. It kind of just doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and especially with their forward core, how much help in the back end do you need? Especially also with Connor Hellebuck putting up a 920 save percentage. So I think they're fine. The one player I am looking at getting from them though is one Ville Heinola. He's 23 years old, hasn't played a game this year, low elite potential. He's the guy that I would want replacing D'Angelo. I think. 89 offensive awareness. He's looking good. He's a former first round pick. He just hasn't really found his stride. He's again 23 years old and he's played 17 plus 8. That's 25 NHL games. And if you look at the depth chart, he's just there's not just a lot of places for him to fit in. Maybe he could in the real world, but NHL wise at least, there just isn't really the opportunity for him. Especially also you have Pionk, you have Morrissey, who are kind of your offensive minded guys. You don't need a young offensive liability there. So that's what I'm going to go for. Obviously, we'll more construct the trade during the deadline. The team I'm looking at for one, Tony DeAngelo, is the Dallas Stars. They're not scoring at an incredible rate. I will say, for teams that are in the playoff hunt, they are one of the lowest scoring. They got guys like Robertson, Hintz, Why Johnston's having a great year. Fantastic. That first line is really killing it for them. But otherwise, it's just not a whole lot. And if you look defensively, they've got Lundqvist there, who's got some good offensive awareness, but he's just not putting up the points. And you could slide down Hakanpää to play with Harley, Lundqvist to play with Lindell, and then Heiskanen with D'Angelo. It just makes all the sense in the world, I think. The players I'm looking at getting back from them, they don't have a whole lot prospect wise. Just Stankov and Johnson, they're in their top six. They don't really make sense. We don't really need a guy like Dellandrea. Our center core is kind of set for the moment. But I am looking at Mason Marchment. He's a second line player. He is not have good stats this year. 17 points in 62 games. But last year he put up 52 points. And you look at his contract. He's got 4.5 for the next 3 years. And they've got him stuck on the third line. And he's not a third line player. I need a second liner. So I think that's just a match made in heaven. Going their way is probably going to be a combination of D'Angelo, and then I'm going to throw them Andreas Athanasiou to kind of play on that third line to get them a true third liner. It's going to be an upgrade overall wise right now, and hopefully he can get it done with Dellandrea and Ben. Sorry about that. Ben is a left winger, so Athanasiou can play both sides. So Ben can always slide over to the left and Athanasiou to the right. But if they want to keep Ben on the left, then Athanasiou can stay on his natural side. So that's what I'm looking at trade deadline wise. Just so the trades make sense as I make them. I'm not going to leave you guys in the dark here. If we look at the playoff hunt, the Jets are third in their division, but they're only 6 points out of first. They could certainly make a push, and the Stars are right behind them, tied, but the Jets have a game in hand. So I think the trade definitely makes sense for both sides. They're both teams that are in win-now mode. And yeah, I'll quickly show you just what I was talking about with the Stars. If we go to the entire league and go to goals for per game, you got all these teams here. I mean, Blue Jackets are here. They're in the hunt. Calgary's in the hunt. Nashville's in the hunt. But Winnipeg really needs some scoring, but they got such great defense that it's almost inconsequential. And we are trying to give them an offensive piece. And then you got, where are they? Dallas has actually admittedly turned it on. I will not lie, but they're still towards the bottom half. They could definitely use a little push there. So otherwise, and we can look at offloading Zaitsev, but the thing is with retained contracts, I don't know how that's going to work out exactly, but we are going to jump right into it. We are a real deal seller now. Yeah, nothing about that. So Tarasenko's here, Carlson, Meyer, D'Angelo. Meyer's interesting, but I just don't think we really have the space for him. A lot of interesting names here. Doesn't say we're in on anyone. But yeah, let's get into these trades. I want to make that Dallas trade first. So here we go. I was looking at scrolling down here. Mason Marchment, the value's at an all-time low. If anything, it's just going to be a move that we can get him going. And then, so the thing is, Dallas does not want to trade Marchment or their first-round pick, so we're going to have to give them a little more value. Blackwood looks like he gets traded to the Kraken there. We'll go over all the trades afterwards. So we're sending them D'Angelo, and we are sending them Athanasiou. Scroll down and find him. Dallas would be over the salary cap, so we do have to retain here. I'm hoping I don't have to retain on more than D'Angelo. Okay, I don't. Does that leave them in a bind? I mean, there's 1-year deals. There are 1-year deals. So I'm going to see if this goes through. It does. I definitely hope, we're saying yes. Well, I have to do that in order for you guys to be smart. So D'Angelo, he is a Dallas Star. He has been sold. We get a first-round pick out of it. We get Mason Marchment. Now let's go over to Winnipeg. Edward Shala, yes, I would love to get him, but he's an 11th overall pick. He's 77 overall. He could very well make their lineup next year, even though they signed Bertuzzi. But yeah, they don't want to give up Heinola either. He's going to cost a little bit, but I just think it makes sense for them. They just don't have the space for him. So head over to right wingers, Atkinson, and then obviously I'm not going to make them take on that contract. I'm going to retain some of it, half of it actually. Uh, yeah, it's 50%. So yeah, let's barely under 3 million. This will not go through. They don't want Atkinson anymore. They did want him. Did they make a trade? I want to make sure this still makes sense. Oh, they have Richevsky, but they're not bringing it. Yeah, they're not bringing him up. Yeah, and he's got 3 years on his entry level deal, anyways. I don't think this will go through. Yeah, no. Picks don't really make sense to them. Defensively, they do want Zaitsev. Zaitsev haven't played all year, but he was not bad. Yeah, he was great actually. And then I want to see defensively. We're getting a left-hand defenseman from them. This would be a rental, some playoff depth. They have Logan Stanley there, yes, but he's a lefty, so I think this would make sense. I would have to retain on Zaitsev. Get him to 3 million is fine. And we do have to take a player back. Skaters matching the block. Hopefully they want. They don't have anyone here that's really low. So let's just look at this. 1 year left on his deal. Malott, sure. 1 February over. And there we go. I think this should go through. Obviously, we have a little bit of a logjam now with the left defenseman, but we'll make the best of it. I think Heinola could be a big piece of this team moving forward. Will it go through? No, really. Okay. I'm thinking. Who would they want? Who would they want? Really help them load up. I don't know. Do not know. They want a defenseman. You don't need York. And Ellis is just too much of a commitment, I feel. That would be an off-season trade. I don't want to really give up Sanheim. Does it make I think it kind of makes sense to tack on a pick here. I think it could definitely make sense. Just throw them some extra value. 4th round? Yeah, there we go. Alright, a 4th round pick works. So, we pick up Ville Heinola. Think that was a good deal for us. Otherwise, Duchesne's on the block now. Talbot's on the block. I don't know. Let's look at the Hurricanes goalie situation. They did not need to sign him. Yeah, all these players that. Eesh. Who else could we be looking at? The Blue Jackets pick up Cam Talbot. If I go to find trade, I don't think there's anyone else I'm really looking at getting rid of. Hayes, again, the contract, maybe next year, and we look at retaining, but as of right now, probably not. Forrester, yeah, we got all these guys. How's Cutter Gauthier doing? Check really quickly. He's turning it on. That's awesome to see. Brooks, Moreau, yeah. These guys are all good. York, Ellis. Ellis is certainly interesting, but the contract is just it. It makes me worrisome. I think we're gonna have to keep him for now. And then otherwise, goaltenders. Fedotov just put up such bad stats. And he passed through waivers. Yeah, the team wanted him. They would get him. So, again, kind of going to the trade deadline, knowing what we're doing, but that's not necessarily the worst thing in the world. I don't know if I can look at real quick. Find trade Timo Meyer. What do they want? Sanheim, Tippett in a second. Farabee in a first. Konechny in a second and a third. First, Crystal Tippett, Gauthier, Marchment. This trade is admittedly not terrible. I don't hate it. I really don't hate it. Oh, but do I want to pull the trigger on a trade like that? Sanheim gives them some certainty. Tippett's going to need to be re-signed. And then we can afford to give up the seconds. Oof. Oh, I hate how much I like that trade. I hate how much I like that trade. Defend up. We were too late. We're too late. Asset is no longer on the team. Oh my gosh, they traded him for Ekholm and what was that? I forgot what we can look at real quick. Ekholm and Duchesne for Meyer? Oh, if only. If only. We don't need rental Tarasenko. I think that kind of is where we're at. Yeah, I think that's kind of where we're at. All right. Well, I was seriously considering that, but too late, too late. That's the fun of the trade deadline. Ah, that annoys me. That annoys me a fair amount. We are going to exit out and we will take a look at some of the trades. Oh, that's a big trade. Yup. Throw it in my face. Thank you. Jane, Domi and Mikheyev. All right, that's a trade. Mark Stahl's on waivers. 2-year deal. I'm sorry, but no thank you. All right, let's. Ah, that is annoying. Hunter Bruzewicz for Brandon Peary. Oof. Daniil Butt and Henry Tikkanen for Olaf Lindblom. Jaden Schwartz gets traded to Vancouver and then traded to Calgary. So he's moving around the division. Domi and Mikheyev to Seattle. So San Jose then flips Ekholm for Samoskevich and 2 third-round picks. They kept Duchesne. Huh. Obviously, we required Ville Hinola. Jack Campbell to the Sharks. Dvorak to the... Wow. Bobrovsky gets traded to the Blackhawks. Oh my gosh, they're taking on that contract. Jesper Foster, Tyler Clevin. Wow. This was a crazy deadline. This was pretty crazy. Timo Meyer is now a Nashville Predator. Oh my gosh. That first line, I don't know who they're going to have centering it. Johansson, I guess. Oh, that's kind of a nasty lineup. Meyer and Forsberg is that's just I think they're going to light the world on fire. Oh, that's a good-looking team. I'm not going to lie. Janot, they could make some additions definitely, but that's a good-looking team. That's a good-looking team. All right, now as for the deadline, finish up some stuff. Let us take a look at expiring contracts. Tippett, he wants a real deal. Frost, you're not getting that kind of money. Sorry, bud. Brink wants a little bridge deal, and I'm going to give it to him right now, actually, because I'm hoping he can grow into it. 85% trick of 1.5 is going to leave him at 1.275. That's fine by me. Ratcliffe, I've liked that fourth line. I mean, obviously, I hope these guys grow, but Ratcliffe on the fourth line, I do not mind at all. We're gonna take that down to 1.5. And then Forrester, what are you at 2.1? What can I get that down to? Just some small bridge deals for these guys. 1.8, I'll take it. I will take it. So yeah, just some small bridge deals for these guys. We don't have to sign Hart yet. We do have to sign Hart. How much does he want? He wants real money. He definitely wants real money. All right, we will see where we are at with him more towards the end of the year. Right now, let's take a look at our lines real quick. Hopefully, this doesn't. Do you know actually? Just a little precautionary measure. I'm going to add the lines. I will show you guys how they are looking afterwards. I would love to take you guys with me, but the thing is, OBS just seems to hate it when I do that. So I will be back with you guys in a moment. Alright, so first line stays the same, Farabee, Couturier, and Marchment. Second line, I think it's Farabee, Couturier, Konechny. Second line, I think it's Marchment taking Couturier, oh my gosh, I can't keep track of my players. Marchment taking over Atkinson's spot, I'm fairly sure, as I hit my mic, sorry about that. But yeah, that gets a +2. I'm excited to see how they can do. It's a power forward, playmaker, sniper combination. Third line, we're bringing up Artyom Galimov. I don't know if he's a college free agent or a KHL guy, but we signed him. He's putting up some pretty good stats in the AHL, so I figured I'd give him a chance. He's a playmaker to play with Hayes and Brink, a power forward and a sniper. And then fourth line is saying the same. Defensively, Sanheim and Ellis are going to be up there. Ellis is really, he's just fallen off, so I'm hoping that he can turn it around, playing some top pair minutes, and especially with a +5. Second line, I'm trying Heinola with Ristolainen. Hopefully that works. I kind of have no rhyme or reason to it. And then we're going to drop York. Oh, he's a top 4 now. He was a top 6. Gosh darn it. But if I put him up there, he gets a... Okay, I'll do that. I'll do that. I'll do that. So it's going to be Heinola and York. Two offensive guys. Don't love it. But we will see what happens with that. We might even look at moving on from York at the end of this year. He's just not really getting it done. Not really getting it done. Third pair is going to be Risto with Tyconic. I have liked Tyconic thus far. Goaltending, staying the same. Scratch, we got Allison, Delorier. We got young guys we can bring up. Oh, let me real quick make sure. You got Jan Kuznetsov in there, Schuster, and I want Connaughton out because I want Guyayev in. Get that +1. He is looking good. Otherwise, whoop, not Fedotov. I want Kolosov in there. He has been fine. In his first professional year, I guess he could have been playing in the KHL, the real world. But yeah, he has been just fine. Real quick too, I want to take a look at some of the progress reports, see how our prospects are doing. Yeah, even see if we got any growth really in the AHL. Forrester, Galimov, Ratcliffe, all good to see, but nothing crazy. In the system, obviously Craig is a left winger. He doesn't have those goaltending X factors, but he is getting some growth. Stefan Schroeder is also getting some growth. Zanetti, not playing, is getting some growth. Berglund, is Berglund the guy with the crazy stats we drafted? No. Although 913 is not bad, but he's definitely not playing as well this year. Jan Kuznetsov is up to a 75. Love to see that. And then JC Gabo is a guy with the crazy stats. Yeah. His wins have definitely turned around, but he's not playing as well. Otherwise, nothing insane. I'm trying to see if there's anyone we drafted that has really gotten up there. Gauthier, I really would have loved to play him on the third line, but obviously, since in the game he is in the WHL, we can't do that. Guyev's doing well. Jan Kuznetsov is doing well. Where is Kristall? Oh, not great. He's doing better than he did last year. But yeah, nothing spectacular. So hopefully he can turn it around. But yeah, otherwise, I mean, our low elites are getting attribute growth. That's all we can really ask for. Yep, that's all we can really ask for. All right, so I don't mind the way the prospects are playing at all, but let's finish off the season here, and then we can do a little season recap. Oh, Hart was in there. My muscles just moving too fast. I can't keep up with them. Ursan and Hart continuing to be our tandem. Ratcliffe resigns, Forcer resigns, Brink resigns. Awesome to see as we drop our first win post trade deadline in the shootout, and we drop to last in the division. But we are getting some wins in here real quick. Galimov not doing well, but Marchment 3 points in 3 games. Not a bad little pickup. I do say so myself. Ursan gets us a loss. Oh, I thought the Panthers were way better. They look like they've slowed down a bit. I guess they're still way better than we are. And we drop a game to them. Up here against the Rangers. And we win. Penguins, who look like they could be challenging for the President's Trophy. We got a big win over them. Love to beat the in-state rivals, but we lose to the Islanders. Another game against the Capitals. We lose to them. And, oh, geez, it's so weird the Lightning are not doing well. Their coach, I think he had Maroon on the first line last year, and he has Maroon on the second line this year, which probably not ideal. Ursan with a big 1-goal performance. You'd like to see that. He's doing well. He is certainly doing well. Hart will get the Pittsburgh game. We drop that one. That is more than okay with me. Looks like we are going to be finishing off last in the division. Got to have some of the pain before you can really take off with this team. I would definitely like to turn a corner, probably going into year 3. But we will see what happens with that. Ursan. Not looking good. Not looking good at all. We will finish off the season here, it looks like, with Katahat. He gets a win. And last game against the Hurricanes, start the season off with them, ending it with them, and we drop it in a shootout. We still got some games. Got everyone to 82. I guess I can just sim to the playoffs. NHL regular season has ended. Let's take a look at some of our point totals. Couturier, he was on pace for a career year, and he just missed it by 2 points. Ouch. But Couturier, 74 points in 82 games. I'm not going to complain about that. Konechny surely turned it on. He sets another point record for himself, 71 points this year, 29 goals. That is not bad at all. Farabee, not as good as last year, and he's a minus. Tippett ended up beating his goal record. He's looking good. I guess he kind of deserves the money he's asking for. Frost stepped up in a big way, 46 points, new career high. Kevin Hayes, not great, not terrible. Bobby Brink, in his rookie year, pretty much 28 points. I don't think that's anything to scoff at all. Minus 20, not awesome. And Mason Marchment, how do you do with us? 10 points in 19 games and a +1. I'll take it. I will take it. Only $4.5 million, not so bad. Forster in his rookie year, 19 points. Ratcliffe in his 15. And then McEwen. Galimov had 7 points, which is not the worst thing in the world. It was nice to give him a chance. Defensively, Ellis ended up leading our team in points with D'Angelo leaving. Defensive core was not very good. Taconic was nice with 17 points. Heinola did not play amazingly with us. But yeah, defensive core definitely needs some work. Goaltending, I'm not going to complain. It's not bad. Yeah, not bad at all. Rookie-wise, I think Brink led our team. That is right. Uh, in the NHL, take a look real quick. Austin Matthews wins the Hart. It looks like Adam Fox is probably going to come away with the Norris. Not Hart, sorry. Adam Fox wins the Art Ross. And it looks like he won the Maurice Richard too. Jason Robertson up there. Jake Gensel. But yeah, not bad. Defensively, Adam Fox. McAvoy with a stellar offensive year. That's a that's a nice career year for him. Carlson up there. Sider is there. D'Angelo with Dallas. Let's see how he finished off. 19 assists in 20 games. I do not think he is complaining about being traded. Deline, Chabot, Spurgeon. Not too bad. Wins leaders. Vanacek. He's up to an 88 now. After a great year last year, he is looking good. If we look at minimum, let's go 40 games played. Save percentage wise, Capo Kakinen did well for himself. Saros, Vanacek, Kemper, Hellebuck. So Vanacek is stepping up as one of, if not the best goalie in the league. Probably not the best. Stats wise, I mean, he's definitely up there. And then rookie skaters for points, Shane Wright. Not running away with the Calder necessarily, but he is not doing too bad. Isaac Rosen up there for the Sabres. Marco Rossi, William Eklund, Shane Pinto, Connor Zary, Jake Neighbors. Not bad. Any rookie goalies? Stuart Skinner is still technically a rookie, I guess. How long has he played in the NHL for? Past 3 years. Still not too shabby. We will take a look at the playoff tree. The Devils are the playoff favorite. We'll check if they won the President's Trophy. I don't know if they always just pick the President's Trophy winner. But Dallas against the Wild, Jets against the Blues, Ducks against the Flames, Oilers against the Avalanche. Some good series there. Penguins, Capitals, Devils, Panthers. Devils, Panthers would be a good series, I think. Toronto has to face the Bruins again, and then the Senators versus the Hurricanes. League-wide to see, or I guess I can't check from there anymore. Devils put up 111 points. That was first in the entire league, so I think it is just picking the President's Trophy winner. But that is all well and good. We are just going to sim to the draft, I think. And are we going to have some AHL playoff games? Might be simming right over them. But yeah, not a bad year. I'll take it. We'll see how we do with the lottery. I would like to win it. You know, we need some luck. The Senators win their first Stanley Cup in this franchise's history, at least. We will take a look at all that stuff. New salary cap 92.5 is not bad. The draft lottery. Oh! I didn't even realize we finished second to last. The Philadelphia Flyers have won the draft lottery. Wow. That's huge. That is huge. As Jeff Vitale has taken over as Central Scouting's #1 guy, but I am looking at Mr. Cole Eiserman. Wow. We have our pick of the litter. Obviously, I want to take real guys and in reverse. That is a little interesting. But Cole Eiserman, his skating leaves something to be desired. Celebrini, NHL ready. He's probably a little worse, but I think the X factors might end up being better. But I think you can't pass up on the center. You gotta have, you gotta have the center. That is huge. That is huge. I had no idea. View retired players. We'll look at this real quick. Letang calls it a career. Erickson, Neal, Filppula. Some pretty big names here. Soderberg, Darren Helm. Justin Braun retires. He played most of his. Oh, I forgot he was in San Jose. Wow, he was in San Jose for a while. Then he went over to Philly, got traded to Rangers, signed back with Philly, Then he signed with Nashville, it looked like. No, he traded with Nashville, and he must have just been on the Providence Bruins. Beagle, Ryan Reeves. That's Jordy Ben. Lance Boma. Not bad. Goaltending wise, Corey Strider and Nicholas Svedberg call it career. Who'd Svedberg play with to put up a 919? Not available in the NHL. Who would that be? Thrashers were the last team to relocate. Huh, I have no idea. Coach is retired. Don't really care about that. Ryan Reeves and Chris Letang are now scouts. Gonna sim through draft interviews. But the Philadelphia Flyers have the first overall pick, along with, we look at draft board real quick. First pick, 22nd pick, 29th pick, 31st pick. We could certainly look at moving up. And then after that, it's not a whole lot. Maybe even move down. But the Philadelphia Flyers have the first overall pick. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. As let's take a look at awards real quick as we wrap this up. Stanley Cup champion is the Ottawa Senators. They defeated the Edmonton Oilers, all Canadian, all Canadian Stanley Cup final. Which is cool to see. Art Ross goes to Austin Matthews. He breaks McDavid's streak. He also wins the Hart. Fox gets the Norris. DeBrincat gets the Lady Byng. Calder Memorial goes to Marco Rossi. Really? Okay. DeBrincat gets the Conn Smythe. Darcy Kemper wins the Vezina Trophy. Ronta with the Jennings. That's Pittsburgh 2 years in a row. Mario Ferraro wins the Masterton. So I guess I was wrong because I feel like every single one I've run this year, Siegenthaler wins it the first 2 years. But it's another defensive defenseman winning it. Jack Adams, St. Louis's coach. Kopitar with his second Selke. Lindsay to the or Matthews with the Lindsay, and he won the Maurice Richard. So Matthews kind of cleaning up this year. Just simulation wise, he seems to simulate a little better than McDavid. Look at the playoff tree. Ottawa beat the Hurricanes, then beat the Bruins, swept the Panthers, and then beat the Oilers in 5. So that Scott Laughton trade is looking pretty good for them. And then the Provorov trade, I guess it worked out really for both teams. Dallas got bounced in the first round, really. That's interesting. And then Winnipeg got bounced in the first round too. So my trades last year were arguably a little more helpful than my trades this year. But that is pretty cool to see. Laughton wins himself a Stanley Cup. Provorov almost gets himself a Stanley Cup. We will look at player stats real quick. Oh, not AHL. Good job, Justin Danforth. Ottawa. DeBrincat, 28 points in 22 games. Josh Norris, 23 and 22. Brady Tkachuk. Drake Bath. Oh, my God. I mean, their offense was just great. Giroux still on the fourth line, but he played on the power play. Shabbat, Jake Sanderson, Shane Pinto. This is a young team. This is a very young team. Scott Laughton was arguably the worst player on that team. But he has himself a Stanley Cup ring. Goaltending wise, Anton Forsberg. Anton Forsberg is a Stanley Cup champion. Go Senators. Go Senators. Good to see. That being said, I think that's going to wrap this episode up. In the next episode, we will get into the draft. First overall pick. I'm very excited. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time.